right. Welcome, everybody. It is April 3rd, Friday. It's my birthday. Hold for applause. Okay, thank you. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is help you along with the solution dilution phet lab. And what the phet lab's going to do is it's going to introduce you to the solution dilution equation, and it's going to help you along by doing that. And you're going to use the phet simulator to kind of give you sort of like a first-hand account of it and kind of see it in semi-real time, since you're not actually making solutions and diluting them, but we're doing the next best thing with the computer simulator. So you kind of know the drill by now. In Schoology, you're going to find this document right here. It should be in the folder Day 5, Friday, April 3rd. Download it, throw it in a Notability. You know how that goes. I've already done so, just so we can speed this along a little bit. But to start, instructions are pretty clear. It's going to tell you the exact website to go to, or you can use the Google machine and search molarity HTML5, which I'm a big fan of using the Google machine instead of typing in the whole link. So we go to molarity HTML5. Go. All right, and it should be the first link. Okay, it just says molarity phet. So we click on it. And whoa, does that not look familiar? Well, it should, because we were just at this website. But I just wanted to show you the process of how to use that new website called thegoogle.com. Okay, so we have this up. I'm going to slide back to the doc here. And the next paragraph is going to talk to you a little bit about just, have you ever made lemonade or Kool-Aid using a powdered drink mix? And sometimes you might make it too weak or too strong. If you wanted to dilute it, if you made it too concentrated, you could just add water to it. And essentially what you're doing is a dilution. And that's what this equation kind of pairs into pretty well. So to start, you're going to set your simulator, turn on the simulator, and then set the quantities to what's provided right here. Okay, so 0.250 moles of drink mix and 0.200 liters of solution. So let's check that out. Oh, and we got to make sure that we turn this button on there. Okay, I've already forgotten it. 0.200 liters of solution. You can slide that all the way down. And then this is 0.250. Oh boy. Oop, 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 oop. Oh boy. We're so close. And we can't seem to get to it. Oh. We did it, guys. We did it. Okay. Hopefully that doesn't take you all day. But when you change that, you'll notice that the molarity is 1.250 molar, and that's all the way. I'm reading that all the way off on the right-hand side of the screen, right next to this orange button that you have right here. Okay? So that is what we're going to record right here, 1.250 molar. And the label for molarity is capital M. Okay? So we did this first part right here. So now what you guys are going to do is dilute the solution by only sliding the second slider. So we're only moving the second slider. So we're just changing the volume, the total volume amount. And we're just changing the volume. Adding more water, okay, for each new solution. So that should tell you something right off the bat. We're not adjusting moles at all. So moles, if it starts at 0.250 moles, well, guess what? That value is going to stay the same for each scenario. Could you believe it? So we're just making it more dilute, more dilute, more dilute, more dilute, more dilute as we move down this table. Okay, so we can't fill in this one because there's a big X there, and usually a big X means you don't put anything in that spot. And we don't even know what to put here yet, right? Because the instructions haven't told us anything about it. So we're just going to leave it. But let's fill in the second row. I can help you fill in the second row here. So we go back. So it's moles stays the same, and now we have 0.355 liters. All right. Wish me luck. 0.355. Oh, see I'm kind of stuck on like the even odds here. Sometimes if you go all the way down and just kind of reset it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're kind of stuck. We're not able to get to 0.355, but we can get to 0.356. So guess what we're going to do? All right. Now, oh goodness, I didn't even look at the molarity. Did you? Oh, okay, good. If you got it, then write it down. But for me, oh man, it adjusted again. Look at that. I got 0.702 after all that adjusting. 0.702 molar. Okay. Now, I'm not going to fill out this whole table with you. I'm just going to do those two rows. But the next column says, did the number of moles, or did the moles increase, decrease, or stay the same? Well, goodness, based on what we see right here, for each of these, you know, this is going to stay the same. So talk about redundancy here, guys, right? Okay, so we got that taken care of. I'm going to kind of jump ahead here. Now it says, once you've filled out the table, multiply liters, which is column 2, by molarity, which is column 3. So liters and molarity. So this column is really liters times molarity. Now, where have we seen liters times molarity before? Wait a minute. Molarity equals moles times liters. And if I want this, liters times molarity, times by L, times by L, this is going to cancel out. So really, wait a minute, I'm solving for moles. But you might be saying, well, you already got moles at the other end of the table right here, right? So we should, in theory, see that when we multiply these two numbers together, it should equal 0.250. Let's see if that's what happens. So we go to our calculator. Oh my goodness. Calculator. No. Here we go. So we had 0.250 times 1.250. Wait, no, that wasn't it. Liters was 0.2. 0.200. And molarity was 1.250. So that equals 0.25. So what I did, just to recap, is I did this, 0.200 times 1.25, and my answer was 0.25, which is, ding, 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 the same. Do you think we're going to get the same thing for the next one? Different values, right? So let's try it. 0.356 times 0.702. 0.356 times 0.702. 0.2499. What do you think we'd round that to? That's right. You got it. 0.250 moles. Sorry, I didn't give that the full label last time. Moles, which matches up with our mole amount over here as well. So I want you to check your work as you're doing this. You know, use the simulator to find molarity, and then do actually the equation, or the simple equation there, to see if it matches, okay? All right, I'm going to trust that you guys can answer these questions. You can see that we kind of came to the conclusion that moles, which, just as a refresher, N is moles, M is molarity, and V is volume. Okay, so we just found that equation, but you guys probably saw that in the previous day. And eventually you kind of come to the point that, you know, you can set these equal to each other to create, or to discover, you know, new molarities, new volumes of new solutions. So this is our solution dilution equation, just right here. Okay, M1 times V1 equals M2 times V2. So M1 and V1 are molarity of your and volume of your first solution. M2 and V2 are the molarity and volume of your second solution. So this is an equation that chemistry teachers use quite often when we're making solutions, because we don't want to give you the really super heavy concentrated acid. We want to dilute it down to where it gets the job done for our lab but doesn't put you in danger. So we're going to dilute that heavily concentrated stock solution. So this is an equation that we as chemistry teachers use all the time. So are we ever going to need to know this for the future? If you become a chemistry teacher, absolutely. Okay. Okay, but here's the table. The table just asks you to use this equation to fill in the missing stuff. So my initial molarity, you could think of this as you know, your stock solution here, and then M1, M2, and V2 would be like the solution that you're going to create. So we just sort of plug in what we have. So M1 is 2.000, and V1 is 0.500. That's liters, that's molarity. Okay, now M2 is my unknown, and then V2 is, well, is 1 liter. So basic algebra here, we're solving for our unknown, so I'm dividing by 1. This is a pretty simple problem. I don't even have to go to the calculator for this one. 2 times 0.5 is 1, and then 1 divided by 1 is 1. So this is 1.00 molar. Okay, now the bottom says check your answers with the simulation. So we want to go back to that website and see if we can do this. Okay. So what you do is you're adjusting these values here to what you had for your M1 and V1. So if we look, my M1 is 2 and my V1 is 0.5. So my volume is 0.5. Wait, hold on. Let me double check that. My molarity is 2. My volume is 0.5. Okay. Let's see if I can get it on 0.5. There we go. We did it. All right. And then notice all the way on the right, I got to get my molarity to 2. So how am I going to do that? Well, the only thing that I can adjust here is the solute amount, which is the moles. So how many moles? So notice as if I go all the way down here, my molarity goes to next to nothing. And if I increase this all the way up, it gets me to the molarity I want, which is 2. So I'm at my starting values. Okay, now according to this, our final volume is 1. So I just have to change this final volume to 1 liter. Okay, and then I got to look at my new molarity. Look at that, it's 1.00 molar, which is, in fact, the answer that we just calculated right there. So that's kind of the strategy that you want to do. You want to use the simulator to adjust and check your answer to see if you got it right. And if this molarity matches up with the simulator, then you know you did it right. Now I know you might be saying, well, the next one doesn't ask for molarity, it asks for volume. Well, let's see if we can do that one. Okay, so you do want to show your work for all of these. Just make sure you're putting them down here in this area. This is where you want to show your work, all right here and right here. And even if you need to go to the next page, okay? So this is where you want to show your work for this one. All right, so this next one, we'll set up our equation, M1 V1 equals M2 V2. So my molarity one is 2.500 molar. My V2 is 0.200 liters. My new molarity is 0.500 molar, and I'm looking for V2. So that is my unknown. Simple algebra again, I'm dividing by 0.500. That cancels. So 2.5 times 0.2 divided by 5.500. This one, 2.5 times 0.2 divided by 0.500. So I got 1. Would you believe it? I got 1. So V2 equals 1.00 liters. Okay? So we're going to use the simulator to check and see if we can do that. So starting volume is 0.2, starting molarity is 2.5. So starting volume is 0.2. Starting molarity, I got to get this guy all the way on the right to 2.5, so I got to adjust the moles, or the solute amount. So close. We did it. Okay. So now, what the worksheet then had you adjust to is they had molarity then being adjusted to be 0.5. Okay, so I need to find out what the new volume would be, right? So I need to adjust my volume to where I get molarity to 0.5. So let's see as I raise this up. Oh, if I go to 1 liter, my molarity is 0.5, which is exactly what we see right here. 1 liter, molarity is 0.5. So it works, everything matched. There you go. For the rest of these ones, show your work. You can kind of compartmentalize it and then use the simulator to check. Okay, I hope this helped. Thank you.